If you are just coming across this channel, a warm welcome to you. Please click on the subscribe button and turn on notification for more videos. John stepped off the plane, the heavy, humid air of Nigeria greeting him like an old friend. Lagos buzzed with life, but it was not Lagos he had come for. His journey was farther inland, to Odiga, his ancestral village, where the red earth met the endless skies, and the rhythms of drums echoed through the heart of the people. John is a tall, lean man in his early 30s, with a quiet, commanding presence. His body is toned from years of disciplined living, not bulky, but defined, like a man used to both thinking deeply and acting deliberately. His skin is a rich, warm brown, smooth and sun-kissed, the color of earth after rain. It speaks of ancestry, of soil, of history. Years in America had reshaped John. He had arrived there as a boy full of dreams and returned as a man bearing the polish of Western education. Yet, for all his fluency in American culture, his soul remained tethered to home. His family received him with joy. But John did not return merely to visit. He came to reclaim something, his heritage. And that meant building two things before returning to the States: a factory that would create jobs in Odiga, and a home with a woman of the soil. In quiet moments, John thought of Sheila. Sheila Daniels is an elegant African-American woman in her late 20s, with a natural poise that turns heads, and a presence that lingers even after she's left the room. She stands at an average height but carries herself with such upright confidence that she often seems taller. Her build is graceful, slender yet strong, with long limbs that move with intention and quiet power. Her complexion is a luminous deep caramel, smooth, radiant, and warm-toned like polished bronze under sunlight. She had been his anchor in the foreign land. Beautiful, wise, endlessly patient. She had loved him through his fears, taught him how to navigate a new world. Sheila was his colleague who later became his first everything in America. First friend, first lover, first heartbreak. They had talked about marriage once, sitting on her porch after a long walk in Harlem. She had envisioned a life of balance, America and Africa, their children fluent in both Igbo and English, dancing between cultures. But John had wanted more. He feared their children would grow up lost, rootless. "It's not you," he had said.
Please,
"It's
John.
the soil.
It's
I
not
need
you,
them
it's
to
the
grow in
soil.
it."
I need them to grow.
Her eyes had shimmered with tears, but she had let him go. John's friends advised him to have a rethink, but he refused. Everyone knew Sheila as a woman with a heart of gold. Muna, John's closest friend at work, tried so hard to make him see reasons, but he remained unshaken. Dima was the kind of woman whose presence preceded her. At 22, she was the talk of Odiga, stunning, spirited, with a laugh that could silence the wind. She was bold, often to the point of arrogance, but no one could deny her allure. John met her on a dusty afternoon. He was halfway down the road, the late afternoon sun casting long golden streaks across the trees, when he saw her. She was walking ahead, a bundle of firewood balanced effortlessly on her head, her arms swinging freely at her side. As he rolled down the window, she turned just then, as if she had felt his gaze. Their eyes met. If only he knew that it was the beginning of his woes. Their courtship was swift. In 3 weeks they were married. Dima's beauty dazzled John, and her passion felt like fire in his arms. She became pregnant before he returned to the States. To John, it was a sign, a good one. But for all her beauty, Dima harbored restlessness. She clashed with his parents, calling them too nosy, too traditional. She spent recklessly, throwing lavish parties, buying clothes from city boutiques. She had no patience for frugality, no respect for the quiet ways of the elders. John's parents warned him. He defended her. Pregnancy, he said, changed her. They only needed to cut her some slack. She birthed a baby boy, but nothing changed afterwards. Sheila had taken the breakup with grace. But inside, she was hollow. John resigned from the office after he returned from his trip to Odiga. Her heartbreak was not just over John, but the rejection of all she had given him. Sheila always lamented about how heartbroken she was whenever she went on office breaks with Muna. In those months, Muna, John's friend, became her solace. He had always admired her, but respected the boundaries of friendship. Now, the walls were gone. Their coffee chats turned into dinners. Their laughter returned. He is in his early 30s. He is broad-shouldered, sturdy, and confident in his good looks. The first time Sheila truly noticed Muna, it wasn't because of how he looked. It was the way he listened. They were seated at a small cafe near her office, sipping hibiscus tea on a quiet afternoon. She was venting, pouring out the heartache she had tried to bottle for weeks, and he just listened. No interruptions. No pity. Just presence. It was rare. With time, she began to see him. Not just the friend who checked in on her, but the man behind the kindness. One day she realized she was waiting for his texts, rereading old messages just to feel that calm again. Another day, she caught herself staring at his hands, strong, dark, and always warm. And on a night when the sky outside was pouring with rain, and she was wrapped in grief and memories of John, it was Muna's voice on the other end of the phone that anchored her back. He wasn't perfect, but he was real, intentional, gentle in a world that often wasn't. And slowly, almost without her knowing it, Sheila began to feel something she thought she had lost. A quiet joy blooming in the space where pain had lived. Their love blossomed slowly, rooted in shared pain, grown in mutual respect. When Muna proposed, it was under a baobab tree during a trip to Senegal. Sheila said yes with tears in her eyes. They married 6 months later. They all traveled to a city in Nigeria for a traditional ceremony, the Igba, the wine-carrying ceremony, where Sheila, wrapped in beautiful lace fabric, danced with grace and pride. She has always wanted an elaborate African traditional marriage ceremony. They spent some time in Muna's village. The villagers embraced her and treated her like royalty. John had always wanted to invest in his community. He came up with a project that would be beneficial to him and to his community. From the moment John stepped foot back in Odiga, the factory was more than a business idea. It was a mission. Something sacred. It was his way of giving back, of proving that the knowledge he had acquired abroad was not wasted. He wasn't just a returnee flaunting foreign accents or sending second-hand clothes from America. No. He wanted to plant something real. Something that would outlive him. He imagined it clearly. A mid-sized cassava processing plant, situated just on the outskirts of the village, where the land was flat and the red soil rich. The factory would buy from local farmers, employ local youth, and reduce post-harvest losses. There would be drying machines, packaging rooms, cold storage. Trucks branded with the company logo would drive across the state, delivering gari, fufu flour, and cassava chips to wholesalers. The brand, Odi Roots Agro, named after the village, rooted in its soil, reaching beyond its borders. He kept the plans close to his chest. He didn't tell his parents, not because he didn't trust them, but because he didn't want to raise expectations until things were in motion. Let me show them something first, he thought. Let them see the walls, not just the drawing. John poured in everything. Time, money, even parts of himself he hadn't realized he'd been holding on to. He spent late nights in America drafting the business proposal, attending virtual seminars on rural enterprise development, comparing prices of machinery imported from China and India. Every dollar he saved outside rent or bills, he sent back. And he entrusted it all to Dima. He believed that marrying her had been part of his return plan. A local wife, familiar with the terrain, trusted by the community. She knew the land, the people, the customs. She could oversee the work. She would be his eyes and hands. He opened a joint business account in her name, and every month he sent money, sometimes thousands of dollars, marked equipment, clearing, staff advances. She sent pictures, workers clearing land, men in overalls digging foundations, handwritten receipts from local suppliers. He believed everyone. When she said she needed more to install the roof, he didn't hesitate. When she asked for funds to secure the fence from thieves, he wired it. Every request came with urgency. Every excuse sounded plausible. And above all, he trusted her. And yet, despite his vision, something started to feel off. Months passed, and the images stopped coming. The messages slowed. When he asked for updated receipts, Dima would say, "The engineer is delaying," or "The internet is bad here," or
"Just trust me,
don't worry." At first he did. But then one day a friend from the village, the one he had attended primary school with, sent him a message. "Bro, I passed the site today. It's just bush. No fence, no foundation. Are you sure it's being done?" John's heart froze. He didn't reply immediately. Instead, he booked a private investigator in Nigeria. Quietly, carefully. What came back shattered him. No workers, no structure, no clearing. But the money, nearly $150,000, was gone. John confronted Dima on a call, voice shaking. She denied everything at first. Said the contractor ran away. Then later, she claimed she had been scammed. It wasn't until he threatened legal action that she broke the news. "I used some of the money to help my family," she said almost defensively. "My brother was struggling. I started a business for him. My sister got her visa. I needed to set them up first. I thought, once they stabilize, I'll use their help to build it back. I didn't mean to hurt you, John." But she had, more than she knew. He sat in silence for hours after that confession, staring at the plan he had once pinned proudly on his wall, now crumpled, stained with the fingerprints of trust misplaced. It wasn't just a business that failed. It was his belief that marrying a woman from his village meant shared values. It was his hope that home was still home. It was his longing to merge love and legacy and not have one destroy the other. The marriage never remained the same. When he returned after 4 years, he confronted her, rage bubbling in his chest. She shouted in defiance, "I did what you couldn't do for my own people. At least someone in this marriage built something." John thought he was having the worst time of his life. Little did he know that the bombshell was yet to be dropped. "And one more thing," she yelled. "That boy is not yours." John was dumbfounded. He ran a DNA test on his son and found out that it was indeed not his. When he confronted Dima again with threats, she opened up. "The boy belongs to Toby, her ex-boyfriend. Toby runs a motorbike spare parts shop in a city nearby. He promised Dima a city life. He would ride his motorbike into Odiga late at night, headlight cutting through the darkness just to see her. They would meet under the mango tree after her parents had gone to bed, whispering, kissing, dreaming. He promised to take her away, to the city, to freedom, to a life where she wouldn't have to pound yam or fetch firewood." And Dima believed him. But reality soon bled through the fantasy. When she discovered she was pregnant, she was terrified. Not just of her parents, but of the shame, the whispers, the future. She told Toby, expecting the protector, the partner, the dreamer. Instead, she met a coward. "It's not mine," he said at first, eyes shifting. Then, "I'm not ready for this. You know how hard things are for me." He stopped coming by. He changed his phone number. The motorbike stopped appearing at midnight. Dima waited, for days, then weeks, then finally accepted what she already knew. She was alone. Toby's betrayal taught her something cold. Never depend on love. Protect yourself first, always. So when John came into the picture, well-dressed, foreign-accented, soft-spoken, she saw not just a man, but a way out. She knew it was risky, but this was a chance to rewrite her story, a chance to wear fine lace at a church wedding, to be addressed as Mrs., to leave behind the gossip and the looks. Toby had since vanished. Last Dima heard, he had moved to Lagos, living hand to mouth. She hadn't seen him in years, and though she said his name with contempt, some part of her still carried the wound he left behind, a wound that shaped every decision she made with John. She hadn't truly loved Tobe, not in the way she once thought. But he was her first heartbreak. the one who taught her to hide her truth, to scheme, to protect her heart with lies if she had to. And John? He was supposed to be her healing to the marriage, and let them bleed all over his dream. On a dry Harmattan morning, the frustrated John walked to Dima's mansion. He poured fuel across the parlor floor and lit a match. The flames roared. The house collapsed. He was arrested, but the village elders intervened. They said he had only burned what belonged to him. John left the country for America the next day. In America, life had bloomed for Muna and Sheila. They had a son who danced to African drums, spoke Igbo, loved ofada rice and fufu, and knew the call and response songs of his people. Every year they returned to Muna's village. Sheila learned to cook native soups from Muna's mother. The villagers adored her, not for her wealth, but for her heart. She started a foundation offering scholarships to local students. She helped restore the broken village library and funded a borehole project. Her son planted mango trees with the other children. John heard about all of it. He watched from afar. Sometimes he would see them in social media posts, Muna holding his son, Sheila laughing under the village moonlight. He wondered what might have been. But John was not a man to wallow. He learned. He began again, slowly, deliberately, this time with wisdom. Thank you for watching. I would appreciate your thoughts on this story. Please write in the comment section and give me a thumbs up. Share the video to people who would love it. If it's your first time, please subscribe.